what went on in the NFL, especially in New York. So let's talk about what happened in New York, the Jets and Giants. Uh, oh, breaking news, kind of, not really. Aaron Rodgers just said this. Aaron Rodgers unsure about playing next year. Jets would be first option if he did. Ooh. So let's talk about the New York Jets. So the reason why there's a lot of stuff going on for the Jets is that you have GM Joe Douglas fired, as you guys saw last week, and it seems like you know Woody Johnson pretty much being in control of this whole thing. So we're not sure where the Jets are going. Are they going to rebuild without Aaron Rodgers, or they're going to keep Aaron Rodgers and still try to be a playoff team? They need a new GM. They need a new coach. Um, there's so many options for a head coach, but other teams need head coaches too, like the Titans, the Jaguars, more likely, maybe the Browns, the Giants, of course, if they turn around, which I'll talk about them soon. But there's a lot of coaches out there that the Jets want to go after. You can go for this name, Brian Johnston, I think is named offensive coordinator for the Lions. He's in both top candidate for the job. But it's going to be kind of tricky for the Jets to get him because other teams might pay more money to get him as their head coach, or he might stay in Detroit. A lot of coordinators that are really good, they more than half the time they don't go to a different team because they like their team where they're at right now, and either it's the money or it's just how the organization is running or whatever. They just stay more often. So I'm not sure if Johnson's going to leave the Lions. I feel like he might stay, but who knows? I don't think the Jets are really going to get him because of how what's going on, and I feel like other teams, like I said, can offer him more money. Uh, but you got Rex Ryan, my guy, Rex Ryan. You got Brian Flores, and you got Joe Gruden, John Gruden. My bad, John Gruden, Brian Flores, and Rex Ryan. Those are three candidates that many people are saying that the Jets should go after. Yes, you got Bill Belichick. Yes, you got Mike Vrabel. If I said his last name right. You got those two options as well, but Bill Belichick does not like the Jets. He's not coming. I'll just say it like that. It's not going to happen. Uh, Mike might get him. I feel like he's one of our options, but I feel like the best option right now is three coaches. Yes, two of them had a lot of problems in the past with other teams. So I'll explain what happened. So Brian Flores, really good coach, was under Bill Belichick for many years in New England, and he got offered a job playing Miami. And there was a lot of stuff going on that he was paid to lose games, even though he didn't want to lose games. He had really good records, and people were shocked that he got fired. All that stuff. You can look into that online. And now he's in Minnesota. He's doing really good with the Minnesota Vikings as either offensive or defensive coordinator. So, you have that. Now, John Gruden, as you know, the whole email situation stuff, you're not really sure about how he is as a person. Yes, he had old school football. He liked that bluntness out of him. Really good record as a head coach, experience in the Super Bowl and playoffs, but you're not 100% sure, you know, if he matured. I don't know the whole story, but he's a little iffy of a option. And last but not least, Rex Ryan. He used to head coach for the Jets 6 years, out of the 8 years as a head coach, two back-to-back AFC Championship games in 2009 and 2010. Um, he is a better option. I think Rex Ryan is a better option compared to the other coaches because every single year the Jets are going after offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator that's been in the league for a long time, but isn't that oh, we gotta get him type of coach. We keep through the same cycle every 3 to 4 years, same cycle. It is you need to bring back a old school coach that knows the New York Jets and that is Rex Ryan. Come on. Yes, back-to-back AFC Championship games, and his record was pretty decent during his time with the Jets, but towards the end, not so much. Had a like 4-12 record or 4-8 record, something like that, and they fired him. And I don't know what the issue was. Might be personality-wise with the owners and with him. Who knows? But he's a head coach that you want on your football team. He loved the Jets. I haven't seen any coach that loves the Jets as he does. He's from New York. Um, I think maybe he's a Jets fan. I'm not sure if he was a Jets fan growing up, but he's from New York. He knows the New York market. He knows how to be a head coach in this league. I know it's been since last time he coached was 2016, but he learned. He learned his lesson. He even says in many of the podcasts, there's stuff that I should have done differently, and that I think now, if I come back and coach for the Jets, it's gonna be something special. And you gotta give the man some props. He definitely can be a turning point for this organization. Yes, you can only give one person one shot, but why not two? And I think he's the perfect guy for the job. Um, you know, he really wants to coach. You could just tell, like, every time you bring up football, or especially the Jets, he's so passionate about the team. He knows. He's like, yo, we have really good talent on this team. So much talent. How do you not win ball games? And he knows. So, me personally, I think the Jets should bring back Rex Ryan. I know I was a pretty diehard fan as when I was younger of a Rex Ryan fan. I know that, you gotta move on to past, this and that. But when was the last time we had a good season? 1 year. We had one good season. We had a positive record with Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker. And that was the last time we had a good record. Other than that, we haven't had a good record since we went to the back-to-back AFC Championship game in 2009, 2010. So might as well bring him back, honestly, um, and just see how it goes. Sign him at 1 year contract, maybe a 2 year contract, and see how it goes. And if he can turn this football team around, ooh, this could be a really interesting fairy tale. Honestly, very interesting. Um, so we'll just have to see. I just think Rex Ryan's the perfect guy for the job. You can say John Gruden and Brian Flores, but I feel like you should just bring back Rex. Um, you can just hear it in him that he loves the team a lot. That's what I think. Comment down below what you guys think. Which team should the Jets hire as the next head coach? And yeah, so as for GM, not really sure. Been hearing a lot of names going on about the GM search for the Jets. It's very iffy because many GMs that have worked with the Vikings and the Colts and many other teams, they were good, but they always had something personal going on or something with one player carrying that team. So you can see that uh, the full level of how smart that GM was, because if it wasn't for that one player doing that well for that team, you don't know how well that GM would have ran that organization. Um, so we're not sure right now, but the Jets just hired Mike Tannenbaum, which was a former GM for the Jets. He had a GM search firm. Him and a former Vikings GM, they're both in that company. They're helping Woody Johnson find the next GM for the Jets. People are saying that's so bad. Why they're doing that? Bro, they're just GMs that have their own company. Well, former GMs that have their own company. It's not a big deal. They're not gonna run the show. Then I'll get it. But they're just trying to find a new GM for him. They had knowledge in the past of being a GM. Why not let them control, instead of Woody Johnson picking people out of a hat? I'll be fine with it. But let's just see who they choose for GM before they choose head coach. Oh, the Jets are a little bit dysfunctional right now, but we'll see what happens next.